is talking. World is talking. World Talk Radio. World Talk Studio A.
Good morning, and welcome to Laurie Online with your host, a mentor to many, Laurie Davis. Laurie and her guest are ready to give you your Wednesday morning pep talk and engage you in life-altering discussions. Now here's your host, Laurie Davis.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon and good evening, and welcome to our show today. I would love to welcome you back if you are a regular listener, a regular call-in person. And if you're brand new to the show today, welcome to you also. I'm so excited today to have a good friend of mine here on the show. His name is Tim White. I met Tim a little over 2 years ago when I was a speaker at a holistic health conference in Toronto. He and I connected that day and have stayed in touch ever since. When I received the notice from Tim in an email about a very important bill that was passing here in the Canadian government, I just knew that I had to have him on the show because we need to get the word out there, and Tim is an advocate and an activist lobbying to support this legislation from passing. So here today to educate us and talk a little bit about his own personal wellness journey, one of the most encouraging people I know, Mr. Tim White. How are you, Tim?
I'm doing fine, Laurie. How are you today? Nice to hear you.
Nice to hear you, too. Yes, you've been busy.
Yes, just a little bit. A little bit. This kind of, when you say an activist, these bills that are being pushed through legislation right now are kind of prompted me into being an activist. I wasn't really politically inclined prior to this.
Right.
And it was with my own healing journey that in seeing what was happening with these amendments to the Food and Drugs Act,
cool.
that prompted me to start doing this, because it is just incredible the changes that are trying to be made. And this isn't just a Canadian issue; it's a global issue.
Okay.
And there are organizations in the United States as well that are trying to prevent these kinds of legislations from being passed.
Well, let's get into it. Let's get right into Bill C-51 and C-50. What is that? What is going on? Okay. What are they wanting to do?
Okay, Bill C-51 changes the name of the Food and Drugs Act to an act respecting foods, therapeutic products, and cosmetics. Now, this bill, this amendment, has been filibustered. The NDP, New Democratic Party here in Canada, filibustered the second reading. So this bill will have to be tabled again in a new session of Parliament starting in September. Mm-hmm. The problem is that there are provisions within this bill subject to the passing of Bill C-52, which becomes Canada's Consumer Product Safety Act. So if the Consumer Product Safety Act is passed, then provisions within C-51 say, well, if this bill is passed, then we can implement regulations and amendments in C-51. Mm-hmm. So they've come at it from two angles. Mm-hmm. It's not just one. And what happens in C-51, it changes the focus into therapeutic products. So we're talking about vitamin supplements, herbal supplements, mm-hmm. Natural health products. And in this bill, it calls a device and I'll quote some of
sure.
directly from the bill itself. A device is a means, an article, instrument, apparatus, or contrivance, including a component, part, or accessory of one that is manufactured, sold, or represented for the use in the diagnosis, treatment, mitigation, or prevention of a disease, disorder, or abnormal physical state, or its symptoms in human beings or animals. And now this device is restoring, correcting, or modifying the body structure of human beings. Now, we all know that supplements are necessary to support the body structure of human beings. There's an advertisement recently about a cereal that reduces cholesterol levels. In that instance, under the wording of this act that I've just said, this could be considered a therapeutic product. So all of a sudden, our foods become therapeutic products.
Wow.
There's a commercial for yogurt that talks about regularity. Again, this is modifying or correcting, restoring the body structure of human beings. So again, it becomes a therapeutic product, and it comes under regulations. And what happens in Bill C-51 is that only a practitioner is able to prescribe these products. So now in Canada, a practitioner is a dentist, a doctor, or veterinarian.
Oh, wow.
So that means if you wanted to take vitamin C, or if you wanted to take vitamin D, or any herbal supplement, you would have to get a prescription from a doctor. That means all of those supplements are now under the rule of pharmaceutical companies, big pharmaceutical companies. They're the ones who are, and under the pharmaceuticals, all of a sudden the price is increased and the quality and quantity of the content of the vitamin is reduced, so we pay more. I spent a year in traveling in Europe, and in Germany I went and I got a vitamin C tablets, and they were 100 milligram tablets that had 10 milligrams of sugar. Now, sugar suppresses the immune system, vitamin C bumps it up. So all of a sudden, you have these two things that are interacting, so it's like taking a sugar pill. There's no effect. The cost of that was, at that time, was $15 US, or about $16.50 Canadian dollars. Whereas here, I can get, for $20, I have a 2-month supply of 600 milligrams of vitamin C, and it helps me.
Right.
And it helps me. Prior to the mid-1990s, none of this was regulated at all. None of this was regulated at all. And what's happening is that they're going country to country to harmonize the regulations and laws regarding vitamin supplements, and so herbs, vitamin supplements, etc. So those therapeutic products. It actually, in what states in Bill C-51, Governor and Council may make regulations that the Governor and Council considers necessary for the purpose of implementing in relation to the North American Free Trade Agreement or trade-related aspect of intellectual property rights by the World Trade Organization. So all of a sudden, it's no longer the Canadian government that's making these regulations. It is now global regulations by different countries that are already have these laws in place.
Wow.
So we lose our ability to choose. Now, already Health Canada uses the United States Institute of Medicine, the IOM, for dietary supplements. Recently, the Canadian Cancer Society came out and recommended that people at higher latitudes take more vitamin D. So it was recommended that they take 1,000 units of imperial units of vitamin D. The Health Canada on their website says, well, no, we're not recommending that because the United States hasn't come up with that yet. So they say, we continue to recommend 200 IUs of vitamin D for adults 19 to 50. But the Cancer Society in new science and research has indicated that at higher levels we're not getting enough sunlight, and they're recommending 1,000 IUs a day, or in the winter 2,000 IUs a day because we don't get enough sunlight.
Right.
When we were hunters and gatherers, out in the sunlight all the time, our body naturally produces about 10,000 IUs of vitamin D every 15 minutes in direct sunlight when our bodies are exposed. Now, that would be without all the clothes that protect us. Now, yes, we have to protect ourselves from, the UVB and UVA radiation that causes cancer, but we need that vitamin D. Our body needs that vitamin D in order to protect us from those cancers. It is just incredible. It blows my mind. This attempt is the government's 5th attempt to implement such laws. When it first started in the mid-1990s, there was 53 recommendations that the government were given, and not one of those recommendations were actually put in place.